Hello, it's me, Aaron, and today I wanted to make a short video talking about the final boss of Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne. For I have noticed that their things as final bosses are really similar to each other, but that the Moon Presence's was much inferior to Gwyn's. So yeah, today I want to talk about why Gwyn works and the Moon Presence doesn't. So, first of all, let's talk about their narrative purpose. Gwyn is being talked about since the beginning. He's the lord of this land that has nobly sacrificed himself to keep the fire going. You know about him. The Moon Presence is different. You never hear about her, except in some really cryptic lore notes and whatnot. I mean, it goes with Bloodborne's focus on eldritch horror and mystery. You hear about the Grand Gwyn since the beginning. The Moon Presence goes with I have met a terrible fate, and I'm going insane. What is this horrifying creature from beyond? It's something mysterious and otherworldly that suddenly descends while still in the dream, in the hub. What I'm trying to say is, the intentions are different. You finally see the Grand Gwyn in shambles, and you witness the descent of an unknown entity. The OSTs also play a pretty big part in those bosses. Gwyn is a sad, melancholic, really simple tune that really goes against the usual ultra-orchestral and epic final boss you could have expected for this boss. It's not an epic final battle. It's the tale of a lord who was scared of the dark, but struggled to make his ether fire last as long as possible. The song only plays with white keys, and now he's just a husk of his former self. The music goes down, but goes back up again and again, like a fading flame that we immediately try to fuel again. This song is just so sad, hauntingly tragic. Every time I hear it, I just have goosebumps. It's really emotional, finally. Then there's Moon Presence. It starts off calm. The Moon Presence has descended, it couldn't captivate you, and now will just kill you. But it's not succeeding. You keep surviving longer and longer, you keep attacking it, and now it's panicking. As a hunter, you've already killed many abominations. The weapon that she built to kill other great ones has turned against her. The Moon Presence fears you. She's not hunting you, you're hunting her. This theme could be the theme of the Moon Presence, slowly coming down, only to realize it has no chance and panics, but it could also be the hunters, starting out gently until the hunter eventually becomes that powerful, unstoppable entity you're at the end of the game. So I love both of those OSTs. They really convey each of their meanings really well. But now, let's go into the execution gameplay wise. How is the actual boss? Let's start with Gwyn. The unique thing about him is that he's the only boss that can get parried, and it's one of the more obvious signs that he's in a decayed state. His skills abdicate with him. But other than that, he's pretty weak, and fairly simple pattern-wise. Don't get me wrong, he can pose a fine challenge, he hits hard, and is a little higher than average speed-wise. You have to try. But he's still easier than, for example, Artorias, Menace, Ornstein and Smo, and Four Kings. What I'm trying to say is, he's not supposed to be that strong. You're supposed to be able to beat him quite easily. That conveys how much he's decayed and how much you've bettered. Since the early days of your playthrough, you have better weapons, armor, you're higher level, and you're better at the game. But you still have to try. If you give it your all at this point of the game, I would be surprised if it took you more than 5 tries. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for Gwyn. A great boss all around. It executed perfectly the idea of a weaker final boss that makes sense with the lore and has a great emotional impact on the player. But now, let's talk about Moon Presence. So, that's where it falls apart. Moon Presence is stupid easy, way too easy to the point where you do not have to try at all. Gwyn is easy as well, but you still need to use the skills you've got in the first place, because that's supposed to be the reason Gwyn is easy. You got better. But Moon Presence, you don't even need to use those. Like, even on the wiki, all its attacks are said to be very easy to dodge. And its gimmick, while nice in the way that it reinforces how unkillable you are, which is very cool. Like, it literally cannot kill you, you still have 1 HP. But gameplay wise, it's just really easy to counter. Just hit the boss. Unlike Gwyn, which was filled with emotions and required you to try. Everyone beat Moon Presence first try and were like, that's it? And that's where the weak final boss things fail. It's too weak and disconnected from the player emotionally to have a real impact on them. Like, the best thing about Moon Presence for me is its cutscene design, and lore. Gameplay-wise, I think any other boss would have been harder than the Moon Presence, with of course the gear you're supposed to have when fighting that boss. It's truly sad, the boss could have been one less climax to Bloodborne. I mean, Gwyn is good, and perhaps has as much impact as Gwyn, which is excellent. I mean, Gwyn is fucking awesome. It has some flaws, of course, but it's really, really good. Like, it's an amazing final battle, but not the real one in the end, you know? And I don't know, like, you get Gwyn, and then this? I mean, imagine if after Gwyn there was like an Asylum Demon clone. It would kind of weigh down the whole final. Yeah, well, that's kind of what happened with the Bloodborne. And it's sad that it failed like that. Like, honestly, I hated Moon Presence more before making this video, realizing the intentions behind it made it a lot better, but still, it was badly executed in the end. Like, that's the reason I made this video. Moon Presence was bafflingly bad, and I wanted to know why. And I realized that it was kind of a similar thing to Gwyn they were going for. And one last thing. There is some cut content for the Moon Presence, including 2 other forms. One was probably the physical body of the Moon Presence, and I'm sure you've already seen it. It's in the Chalice Dungeons. And the other one is much weirder. It doesn't really have a functional set of animation or even a fully textured model. It has this weird Cos-ish thing on its chest. Honestly, whatever the reason why they were cut is, it makes me think the Moon Presence could have been way more than what it was in the final product. Sad. So yeah, that's about it. I know it's quite unusual for me to make such a short video, but for once I thought I would talk about a simpler topic, and stop trying to find a profound moral for all my videos, which has been kinda stopping me from really talking about everything I want to talk about. Anyways, thank you for watching. Your presence till the end is appreciated, and bye, I guess.